சார்.
ஏன்?
அது கலை சிஸ்டர், அவங்க நல்லா இது பண்ணி.
ஓகே, கலை சிஸ்டர் யாரு?
இங்கே நர்ஸாக இருந்தாங்க, அவங்களுக்கு கல்யாணம் ஆயிடுச்சு.
ஓ, போயிட்டாங்களா? இப்போ 8th ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் இருக்கல, இன்னும் 2 வருஷத்துல போர்டு எக்ஸாம்லாம் வரும்ல, பயமா இருக்கா உனக்கு? நல்லா படிப்பியா? சூப்பரா படிப்பியா?
கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சம்.
கொஞ்சமா. உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்ச சப்ஜெக்ட் எது?
சயின்ஸ், இங்கிலீஷ்.
Let's name her Padma, the lotus, the national flower of India. A lotus blossoms in murky water, but nobody notices the surroundings because the fragile beauty of the lotus defocuses everything around it. Padma's promising life and her smile is equally mesmerizing. It covers the dark secret of abandonment at her birth. She is a survivor of the cradle baby scheme. The same scheme that binds her to the twins abandoned just a few weeks ago, miles away in another city, in another region of Tamil Nadu.
Yes, good girl. The social smile They are now around 73 days old. Both of them were here, and this is the third pregnancy for the mother. And the mother died due to some maternal illness. And since the family is bigger and the father could not maintain because of the economic and social reasons, they just left the child and then went. It happens like any other issue here. The address and everything was fake, and they could not trace and hand it over to the person.
Born preterm, a boy and a girl with low birth weight of barely over a kg, they struggled for life and survived because they had a team of medical staff to support and nourish them. The hospital has been their home, and nurses in the neonatal care are their surrogate family.
Nurses have the part of taking up the motherhood. So they get attached to, like, now it is between, it's not like the mother, it is now being as a caretaker. So the caretaker, whoever take care, becomes the mother of the child. And now of course here the nurses and the resident doctors and other paramedical persons also take care in doing their day-to-day activities, including feeding. So they get attached. It's like bonding.
Soon the twins would be handed over to the social welfare department, and their journey as orphans of the cradle baby scheme would start. Their fragile bond with the medical staff in the hospital is all that they have known since their birth. For a cradle baby, there would be many such surrogate bonds to go through before they come to terms with their real identity. That they were given up at birth by their biological parents, at times willingly and sometimes unwillingly, but nonetheless abandoned.
Couple of months ago, we had a child. Later we found the child had a congenital heart disease. Probably the mother know that the child had a congenital heart disease, and that child was abandoned in Gandhipuram bus stand. And later it was given to us by police personnel.
188 cradles was how it all began, some 25 years ago. That was the time that Jaitley had become Chief Minister for the first time, and she had been confronted by a situation that needed affirmative action. Media reports published in the 1980s highlighted how Kallar's in Madurai district practiced female infanticide. Some articles even put a figure of 6,000 girl children being poisoned to death over a decade and a half in the area. Another report published by a non-governmental organization in the 90s brought to focus the widespread prevalence of female infanticide in another community, the Goundars in Salem district. To tackle this problem head-on, Jayalalitha in 1992 introduced the Cradle Baby scheme to control spiking infanticide figures. 188 cradles were placed in major towns at vulnerable locations like primary health centers, government hospitals, temples and orphanages.
Actually here there is in some other rural pockets because of the deep-rooted gender problem, because of the female bias, female is concerned liability, burden. So one sort of thing is called here female infanticide. That's prevalent only certain pockets, not throughout Tamil Nadu is concerned.
Which pockets you are talking?
Especially Uslambatti, Salem, Dharmaburi, all these pockets where there is so much female infanticide was there.
The scheme was withdrawn in 1994, and with the change of government, it got shelved in 1996 till it was revived again in 2001. But babies kept coming in. In Salem, where it was introduced in the first phase, a total of 150 girls were received till 2001, and by 2007, in the second phase, Salem received 57 boys and 665 girls. In the second phase till 2007, Madurai got 109 girls, Theni records 146, Dharampuri had close to 1000 girls, while Dindigul got 38 girls and 12 boys. Close to 500 girls were enrolled in the scheme from other districts during this phase. A total of 390 boys and 2,410 girls were left behind under the Cradle Baby scheme in the second phase till 2007.
தங்கல் யுத்தம்
ஆமா
அந்த படம் பார்த்து
3 பொம்பளைங்க இருந்தாங்களா அதுல குஸ்தி சண்டை போட்டுட்டாங்க
லாஸ்ட்ல அந்த பொண்ணு ஜெயிச்சிட்டு அப்புறம் ஃபோட்டோ இதெல்லாம் கேமராவில் வச்சு எடுப்பாங்க. அவங்க அப்பாவை பார்த்தோன்னே அவங்க அப்பாவை ஒரு ரூமில் போட்டு இது பண்ணிடுவாங்க.
அப்புறம் அவங்க அப்பா வந்து தப்பிச்சு
திறந்து விட்டுருவாங்க. யாராச்சும் ஒரு ஆள் வந்து திறந்து விட்டுருவாங்க. வந்து அப்பா வருவாங்க. அப்போ தான் அந்த பொண்ணு பார்க்கும். பார்த்தோன்னே அப்படியே போய் ஓடி போயிடும் அவங்க அப்பா.
But when asked about the mother figure of the film, Padma had little reaction.
அதுல அம்மாவா ஒருத்தங்க வருவாங்க, அது பிடிச்சதா?
அம்மா
அந்த படத்துல தங்கல் யுத்தம்ல ஒரு அம்மாவா ஒரு ஆண்டி வருவாங்க, அந்த ஆண்டியை பிடிச்சதா?
Her face darkens and eyes become guarded. The 14-year-old has never known a family. The home she lives in since the Social Welfare Department handed her over from the cradle has been her family. But there have been others who were lucky enough to find a loving family and home.
2.5 நினைக்கிறேன். 2.5. நான் 91, he's 94 born.
Advait is the second child in the family. Brought up in Chennai, Advait is aware of the fact that he was perhaps born in Coimbatore or in a village nearby. The orphanage from where he was adopted was part of the government's panel of cradle baby rehabilitation project. He feels a tug in his heart every time he's in Coimbatore.
To be honest, whenever I go to Coimbatore or something, I feel a joy kind of thing. It suddenly it makes you feel more happier. It comes because people who born in Chennai, away from they are going out of station after coming a long time, they feel joy and bliss. I feel the same way when I go Coimbatore, or when I hear Coimbatore, the place name, I feel more joyful.
Advait today works in a multinational car manufacturing company. This confident young man of 23 had gone through his bit of struggle of identity crisis in his teens before settling down.
Basically, they will give me sympathies. Oh no, you are adopted, and they will ask the same usual question: do you want to see your own parents? And you are like, how you feel? Will you go once you grow up? You will go and search for your own parents, or kind of thing. But it's waste of time, searching my biological parents.
There was no situation as to he being frustrated about it or anything. He might have realized the importance of being an adopter or the effect of being an adopted child. But then we did not have any problem. He did not have a problem because we've never treated him as a adopted child. I've always, my parents and myself, both, all of us have only seen him as my own brother or their own son. So I think that helped. That is what helped him to be comfortable with us.
I brought up the way I can handle, like, you know, yes, I am adopted, but I don't feel like, you know, revealing myself like, you know, adopted. I don't want to, you know, brand myself like I've been adopted everywhere. If someone asks me, are you adopted, I will purely say, yes, I am.
Brother and sister, they would pore over the book and read it together as kids. This book has been the guide to both and rescued them in the darkest of their times while accepting each other as siblings. Janani loved to see the sister's image in the book and as a child believed it to be her family for which this book was made.
So we had books. We had books which had cartoon pictures of how it is okay to be like this, okay to have an adopted brother, and it was taught as a story for us. It was not a big thing.
But Padma wasn't that lucky. The fact that she was born HIV positive is another reason for her to be shunned. As if it is almost her fault that she was born a girl child, and that too with the deadly disease, to complicate her case further. But Padma has her best friends with whom she has grown up, and they fill the void that is part of her life.
அதோட முட்டை ரவுண்டா
பெருசா இருக்குமா? ஈமு ஒன்றும் செய்யாதா? சும்மா அங்கே நடந்துகிட்டே இருக்குமா?
யாச்சும் வெறுப்பேத்துனா
கொத்துமா?
Since it was introduced, Cradle Baby scheme rescued many. Close to 4,000 babies were received as of March 2011 under this scheme. The Coimbatore Government Medical Hospital continues to receive cradle babies at nearly the same ratio every year.
Actually, last year we got 9 babies. That is in 2015 we got 9 babies, and in 2016 up to December till date we got 10 babies. And this scheme is working out well because anybody who abandons the baby, previously they will be abandoned because they don't know. A good Samaritan won't know where to put the baby. Now they have known that you can put the baby in the government hospital and no questions asked.
Once a baby is able to live without medical attention, the child is handed over to Social Welfare Department, who then try to get these children adopted through empaneled NGOs. And those like Padma, who are scarred by some deadly disease, would hardly have a chance to be adopted. But when did its sordid environment even bother a lotus?
பொம்மை படம்
என்ன பொம்மை படம்?
பீமே பாபி
பீமா, சோட்டா பீமா. வேற
அப்புறம் மோட்டர் போர்டு.
மோட்டர் போர்டா? அதுல
மோட்டர் போர்டு.
அதுல என்ன இருக்கும்?
சமோசா சாப்பிட்டா உனக்கு இது
ரொம்ப சமோசா சாப்பிடுவாங்களா? எவ்வளோ சமோசா சாப்பிடுவாங்க?
ஒரு தட்டு ஃபுல்லா.
Dr. Radhakrishnan was collector of Salem in between 2001 and 2003. That was the period when the scheme was reintroduced. Salem is known as an industrial belt and is also identified as the worst offender when it comes to female infanticide.
I still remember distinctly, it was December 11, 2001, when during a grievance day, 2 ladies, they came and just handed over the babies. But on an average in a district, it was, during that period, now it would have definitely come down because of the change circumstances. It used to be around, roughly around 100 a year.
Nearly 50 kilometers from Salem city, Periya Krishnapuram is a small village where years ago a mother was forced to give up her daughter at birth in cradle baby scheme like many others. But what set her apart from others was the fact that she fought the system and got her daughter back. Only information available was her name. Ilayaraja is a village elder who knows every house in this hamlet. He recalls another case of a child being abandoned in the village some time back.
ஆனால் மோஸ்ட்லி ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட நாளைக்கு முன்னாடி யதார்த்தமாக ரோட் வேவில் போகும்போது ஒரு சின்ன குழந்தை ஒரு சின்ன துணியில் வச்சு கீழே போட்டிருந்தாங்க. அப்புறம் பார்த்துட்டு இது என்ன இப்படி இருக்குதுன்னு நினைக்கும் போது அப்போ தமிழக முதல்வர் தொட்டில் குழந்தை திட்டம் அப்போ இருந்தது. அப்போ வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா மோஸ்ட்லியாக ஒரு 2-3 வருஷமாக இருக்குதுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அந்த சமயத்தில் அந்த குழந்தை இருந்தது. அந்த குழந்தைய எடுத்துகிட்டு போய் ஒருத்தர் இருந்துட்டு இல்லை நான் கொண்டு போய் எங்கள் தொட்டில் குழந்தை திட்டத்தில் சேர்த்துறேன்னு சொன்னார். ஆனால் மோஸ்ட்லி அவர் கரெக்டான ஒரு கொண்டு போய் சேர்த்துருப்பாருன்னு நானும் நினைக்கிறேன்.
Ilayaraja tries to track down the mother. Let us name her Kanhaiya. After a few phone calls, he has a list of 10 probable Kanhaiyamals living in and around Periya Krishnapuram. The village is deeply divided along the caste lines of Vaniyar, Nayaka, Manudayar and other scheduled castes. The search becomes caste-based as there is no family name to lead with. As dusk approaches, Ilayaraja finally is able to locate the Kanhaiya. She has just returned after a hard day in the farm as daily wage earner.
8 வருஷமாகவே அந்த இப்போ மத்தூரில் இருந்தல்ல அந்த மத்தூர் சனம் பூராமே என் பக்கம்தான் சப்போர்ட்டு. ஏன்னா அந்தளவுக்கு பிள்ளைங்களை நான் காப்பாற்றிட்டுருக்குறேன். அவங்க சப்போர்ட் எனக்கு இன்னும் இல்லை. 1 ரூபா கூட எனக்கு கிடையாது. வீடு வாசல் எதுவுமே விட கிடையாது.
Kanhaiya doesn't want to be reminded of the past. She has enough to deal with. The horror of her husband snatching her newborn girl away and then abandoning her in a government cradle makes her shudder even today.
ரொம்ப கஷ்டம். இப்போ நிறைய பேர் வந்து பரவாயில்ல போனால் போட்டோம், குழந்த போனால் போட்டோம், நம்ம இவன் இல்லைன்னா இன்னொருத்தன் நம்ம அப்படி நிலமையில போயிட்டாங்க நிறைய பேர். எனக்கு அந்த மாதிரி இல்லை. தப்பு செய்கிறமோ இல்லையோ ஆனால் பிள்ளைங்க நம்ம பக்கத்தில் இருக்கணும், தாய் பக்கத்தில் இருக்கணும். ஆனால் சில பேர் பிள்ளைங்களை வந்து அவங்களோட சுகத்துக்காகத்தான் பார்க்குறாங்க, பிள்ளைங்களை வந்து வீணாக்கிடுறாங்க. நான் அந்த மாதிரி நினைக்கவே என்னால் முடியல. நம்ம என்ன செஞ்சாலும் சரி பிள்ளைங்க நம்ம பக்கத்தில் இருக்கணும்.
So she fought her way through the system and got her daughter back. She even forgave the offending husband and had another child with him. But it didn't last for long, and finally, 8 years ago, Kanhaiya walked out of her marriage with her children to build an independent life of their own. Fate dealt her with another blow.
உண்மையை உங்ககிட்ட நான் சொல்லணும்னு சொல்லி நினச்சா நீங்கள் யாருக்கிட்டையும் சொல்ல மாட்டேன்னு சொல்லுங்க, நான் சொல்கிறேன்.
யார்கிட்ட சொன்னாங்க?
உண்மையை சொல்லணும்னு நினச்சா நாங்கள் 2 பேரும் மாத்திரை சாப்பிட்றோம்.
Her daughter, to be referred as Pavitra, dreams of becoming a doctor one day.
35-year-old Indian Air Force pilot.
She is a student of class 11 in a local school and she's taken up pure science as her specialization. She too is HIV positive. Compared to the children who grow up in charity houses for orphaned and abandoned, Pavitra has been ensured of a parent's love by her mother's fight.
என் 2 தங்கச்சிங்க தொட்டில் குழந்தைங்க தான். மொத்தமாக இங்கே 11 பேர் இருக்காங்க.
SOS Children's Village on the outskirts of Chennai is one organization where many cradle babies come to. They are then placed with other orphans under the guidance of a surrogate mother in a home. They become a family. All children living in a home treat each other as siblings. This campus has 13 such homes in total.
Cradle babies, of course, come to us at a very, very young age. They can be anything from a few days old to a few months old babies. They often do not know what their past is. They cannot relate with their past.
அக்ஷயா சொன்னல அவ கூட அந்த வந்த தொட்டில் குழந்தையிலலாம் வந்தா. எங்கள் செட்டில் பாதி பேர் எல்லாமே தொட்டி குழந்தை பசங்க தான். எங்கள் செட்டுனா எல்லாருமே ஒன்றா படித்தோம் 5th வரைக்கும். வெளி ஸ்கூலில் போயிட்டு எல்லாருமே தனித்தனியாக, ஆனால் இப்போ கூட மீட் பண்ணுவோம். எல்லாருமே வெளியே போயிட்டாங்க. என்னோடய ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ்க்கு ஒரு 2-3 பேருக்கு மேரேஜ் ஆகிடுச்சு. மற்றவங்க எல்லாமே ஒர்க் பண்ணுறாங்க. இப்போ கூட ஏதாவது பிளான் பண்ணி வெளியே போவோம், பீச் போவோம். இப்போ கூட ரீசெண்டாக பீச் போயிட்டு ஹோட்டல் போயிட்டு ஃப்ரெண்டு ஒருத்தி அடையாரில் ரூம் எடுத்து தங்கியிருக்கா, வீடு எடுத்து தங்கியிருக்கா. அவள் வீட்டுக்கு போயிட்டு கொஞ்சம் டைம் ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்ணிட்டு அப்புறம் நைட்காக வந்தோம்.
It was the last day of the year, and Doshita, Josephine and others have come back to meet their surrogate mothers and play with the inmates who they consider to be their siblings. And like any sibling, they too bristle with protective anger when the subject of discussion veers towards the cradle baby scheme.
But if parents are willing to பண்றாங்கன்னா parents வந்து அந்த குழந்தையை பெத்திருக்க கூடாது actually அது இல்லையா ஸோ அது வந்து வேற ஆசைகளால தான் அவங்க இது பெத்தாங்க தவிர இப்போ இது பெத்தாங்கன்னா அந்த குழந்தை பெனிஃபிஷியல் இல்லை.
This program and this scheme is concerned is well, yeah, temporarily is okay. It's a scheme that temporarily they can take survive. But over the years we consider is the deep-rooted problem still remain there, especially gender bias is still there. Female is concerned is a liability, is a burden, there is a lot of discrimination with the female, that's still prevalent, that's the root cause of the problem. So our concern itself, we have to attack the root cause of the problem.
The cradle baby scheme was recently criticized by the High Court. Shocked by the fact that it remains active after 24 years with as many as 260 abandoned newborns placed at the government Rajaji Hospital in the last 6 years, the Madurai bench of Madras High Court summoned the directors of social welfare and social defence departments to find out if any study has been conducted to contain the trend by educating people.
A lot of propaganda has been done by the government. So automatically what happened now, because the technology, medical technology also helped it, that problem has been shifted from female infanticide to female feticide. Now if you see this district, even though there is no female infanticide, now it become converted into female feticide.
டிவில என்னவா வரணும்னு ஆசைப்படுறேன் இந்த ஷோ எல்லாம் வந்து நடத்துறாங்க மாதிரியா
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் எடுத்தோடனே டப்பா வச்சா அவங்க அவுட்டு.
Far away from this humdrum, Padma is content with what life has offered her.
ஆமையும் மற்றும் ஒரு எலி இவை
This quiet girl of 14 years continues with her dreams of a bright future that would work as glossy as it does on the silver screen.
கிறிஸ் 3 எப்படி இருக்கும்னு காட்டுறாங்க.
இது பார்த்துக்கிறேன் கிறிஸ் கஷகிருதி கொஷனு அந்த உலகத்துக்கோசரம் அவன் கையில் உங்கள் அப்பா கையில் ஒரு ஊசி மாதிரி ஒன்று போடுவாங்க. அப்படியே அவனுக்கு போட்டோடனே ஒரு மாதிரி புண்ணா ஆயிடும்.
ஐயோ அது பார்த்தா உனக்கு ஊசினா பயமா?
எனக்கு சாதாரணமே பயம்.
She has come a long way, but she has many more miles to go and many more battles to overcome. Despite being abandoned in her cradle, the society is still not warm and open to accept her as she is, who she is.
Okay, let's pack up. But Vipasha, one last thing before we conclude. In our story, we have many characters whose names haven't been revealed or their identities haven't been shown on camera the way it generally is.
Like the names have been changed and faces not revealed. See, they remain nameless, faceless characters of the story, but their story is more important. See, it's already there are a lot of stigmas they are fighting against. There are social stigmas, there are health issues, there are stigmas of being abandoned, and our point is to put forward their story. So their names and their identities are not important, their stories are important.